Hey guys, welcome back to War Thunder. Welcome to a, well, this is a scuffed video because I'm literally doing this live and we don't have much time to do it, essentially. I have to go live stream on Twitch in like a little bit, so bear with me. Here's what's going to happen. This is the last update of the year, last update before Christmas. I don't want to talk much about the Green Doom because over the next couple of weeks, I'm not going to have time to play the account in the first place. So, let's log into my main, let's take a look at what's actually happening here. So, French Tech Tree just released 1.75, scouting features, a few new aircraft. What are we going to be doing? Over the next couple of days, essentially about a week, I'm going to be spending most of my time live streaming over at Twitch, longer hours, longer sessions, and obviously doing the grind live so that I can save some time and also produce as much content as it's viably possible. Now, with the French tanks, I've been already doing some Golden Eagle converting because I can't be bothered to play these stock tanks right now in Tier 1 because everybody else is playing them. So to kind of jump out of that oversaturated matchmaker, I've escaped to give myself a bit of peace. This converting, by the way, costed about 2,500 Golden Eagles, which is barely nothing. Now, in the meantime, this is what I want to talk about. The French Tech Tree is, it's tiny. And this means it's a problem because you have to research everything. For example, in Tier 2, if you didn't pre-purchase the B1, you got to unlock and buy all these other tanks. Whereas in, a place like Russia, and I've shown this doing my Alta account, is you just have to get 6 random vehicles, and that's it. Another thing with the French Tech Tree is weak SPA. This thing's trash. This thing's going to be mediocre. Obviously, as time progresses, more vehicles are added, better lineups become, maybe a few battle rings get adjusted, a few new shells get added. For the time being, French have a few very, very weak lineups. Essentially, I'm going to be updating my lineup sheet. If you're still not using the lineup sheet, I do recommend you give it a gander. It's extremely useful, very simple to use. It just shows you which vehicles at which BR, gives you a bit of an easier kind of overview and a schematic of, what to use. So at the moment, I'm seeing 1.0 is very strong. 1.3's got a few vehicles. 2.0 is nice. You can 2.3 up tier with the BIS and the TER. 2.7 doesn't really exist. 3.7 is going to be decent because of the 4.0. The 3.3 is a very nice lineup. You got a few tanks there, and then the big one's really going to be 4.7. Obviously, medium, heavy, SPA plus another premium. The 6.0 with a likely up tier over 6.3 for the Lorraine, and then the 6.7 with maybe an up tier to 7.0, and then the 7.0 with an up tier for 7.3. Then the good lineup starts. This is the 7.7. Again, I love playing that one. I like that they did this because 7.7 right now is the equivalent of probably the most fun you can have in the game because it's the highest battle rating where it, kind of still doesn't go to top tier shit. And then the AMX-13 HOT and the AMX-13 B2. I think this is going to be a fun tank to play. The HOT, though, I don't think it's going to be too good. But we'll see again. I don't have them, haven't played them on the dev server. I've had zero experience with French tanks, haven't played a single game yet. So everything I'm saying here is just... honestly, this is actually a dev server overview. Because what we have here is vehicles that just came from the dev server and are now in the live game. So it will take a week before these vehicles actually are unlocked and spaded and more people have played them and the matchmakers kind of normalized when we can give you our full opinions. So whilst the French tanks are doing what they're doing, a bunch of new planes have been added, mainly some lower tier stuff, but what we're going to be focusing on in terms of content, F40 Sabre. This thing's got one of the best looking camouflages of any vehicle in the game right now with an orange underskin. Absolute perfection, to be completely honest here. The default Y1s and then these British whirlwinds and whatever that is. Not going to play those, not going to focus on the Yak 2s anyway, so going to focus on the Yak 23. And for the Americans, I think the 84 is going to be a lot of fun. And then the F3D Skynight is going to be probably a bit mediocre. That is basically it on my main account. I mean, there's nothing here to do, obviously except for respading every single light tank in the game, which is going to take hopefully not too long. It's a little bit annoying to see so many vehicles get unspaded just for a new feature. I thought scouting was going to be an inbuilt feature, something that every light tank has instead of an actual upgrade, but it is what it is. Once we test it out, once again the matchmaker kind of normalizes itself, we'll get the opinion out there, and we'll see if this scouting feature is a very good one, or if it's something that we could do without. I think it should in general work quite well, and obviously bring more aircraft into ground battles, which means SPA have a bigger value, which means we might see that kind of balance happening. I hope that SPA becomes a little bit more challenging, and I can start learning it again, because I think SPA became quite easy to play over the past few weeks, essentially just pointing and clicking. That is it for the main account. So let me do a rundown on my alt. We're going to do that right now, live, because I've done a lot of progress on the Green Doom, and I've been having an absolute blast actually playing all these low-tier vehicles and also going through the low-tier lineups. So what I've discovered is there's a few things that I've been doing wrong on this account, and the primary wrong thing has been focusing too much on grinding Silver Lions with aircraft in air battles, right? When you actually can grind a lot of Silver Lions with aircraft in ground battles. So what I've done here is I've overtaken the AR2 with the LA5F. I've realized that the best way to make Silver Lions is to just go air-to-air combat. So I've been using a lot of the LA5F, been absolutely digging this thing, and using these 50 kilogram bombs to inflict 90% accurate damage on bombing. So these 50 kilogram bombs are actually extremely effective, and the plane overall can withstand a nice ace duel in an overall air RB or a grand RB match. So progression-wise, I have a 4.3 lineup for the Russians installed and ready to go. I do need to make my way down to the T-34-85. This is going to be the main tank that I'm going to use in upcoming tournaments. And then probably going to make my way down to the ZSU-37, work for the IS-1. And from that point on, my only last step is the 5.7. When I get to 5.7, talismans are going to start rolling out. Some gold is going to start arriving into the account. We are playing a lot of tourneys. As a matter of fact, by the time you see this video, I will be already live on Twitch and likely in the middle of an I-16 Type 27 1v1 tournament. I have no clue how it's going to go. I'm guessing abysmal, because this plane shouldn't exist in 1v1 tournaments, but it's there. I had the option to get it, to unlock it, go through the spading process, and we're going to give it a gander, because what's the worst thing that can happen? In terms of Germans, I've been actually slacking. I want to go for the Ostwind. The Wirbelwind still hasn't got the HVAP shells, been very, very lazy with it. And overall, I have to make a decision whether to go for the 4.3, 4.7 lineup, or skip it altogether and go straight for the Tiger and the Panther. And the reason why I'm leaning towards skipping it is because my goal is the Act Panther, right? As a 6.3 lineup, I do want to get my hands on this tank destroyer. But there's an option to not get this one and get the premium instead. Now, the premium does cost a lot, but implying maybe a lucky discount or, some kind of weight that would be taken off there in terms of how many wins I have to get. But in general, I think 13 1v1 tournaments I have to win to buy this thing. I mean, it's far-fetched, but I've got a few tricks up my sleeve, so I wouldn't quite ignore this as an option. And the reason why I want to go for the premium is because going through 3 tank destroyers that I'm not going to play to get 1 tank destroyer that I am going to play, and then have the option to get 2 additional tank destroyers that I'm not going to need, feels a bit redundant. So I'd rather just go for the Act Panther, because that's the only tank from the lineup that I want. So likely going to skip through the tank destroyers, go for the Tiger H1, go for the Panzer IV-H, and then skip it for the Panther D, use some talismans, work my way from there. As for planes, I've also been slacking here, but almost at the Jupiter Tropical, and I'll be then going for the HE-100s, HE-111s, Dorniers, and then obviously making my way for the Orado, by which time I will already have to go for some Focke-Wulfs and some later BF-19G variants to use in tournaments, which hopefully are going to happen soon, because lately all the tournaments have been low-tier stuff like BF-19 F1s, which I can go and research, but I don't think it's worth going through the B, the E, and the F to fly a plane in a tournament I'm going to have 0 chance winning. Alright, so that is it for the update on the 2 accounts. Obviously, Green Doom being put on hold over the next couple of days. Going to be focusing on the Orange Doom main account, and get through the grind, expedite with some gold, and then get as much footage for you guys. So yeah, over the next couple of days, content is on Twitch. That's all I'm going to say. If you like live streams, great for you, good for you. If you don't like live streams, bad luck.